what's up? It was just 50 Cent. I just want to thank everybody for showing their support. And all the Get Well message, check out on this50.com. Yesterday, I listened to Fat Joe's record, It Hurt. And I told you people not to listen to his music. And some people didn't listen. And look what happened.
Feel it right here. Rock away. Lean back.
Young Buck tried to ride his motorcycle after listening to Fat Joe's record. And look what happened. The skateboarders. People who ride their bikes.
That works out to about $3,000.
You know, there's people all over the place. There's people playing the music, trying to work out. It's terrible. I mean, Fat Joe's record is the worst thing ever happened to hip hop. And it hurts bad because I love hip hop. I don't know what else to say. I mean, everywhere it's just happening all over the place. And it's because his music sucks so bad. It's gonna kill people. Don't listen to it. Please. Please.
50 Cent is one of the most successful rappers of all time, but he's also one of the most hated. From Jay-Z to Fat Joe, from Rick Ross to his own son, Curtis Jackson has managed to start beef with almost everyone in hip-hop. But what makes 50 so different from other rappers? Why does he seem to enjoy destroying his enemies more than making music?
There's nobody in control of me. Like, I do what I want to do. So, I'm deciding to fuck your life up. Rick Ross, I'm gonna fuck your life up. For fun. This a few times. This is not new. I do this all the time. Like, I got a list of niggas that fucked up. I'm gonna fuck your shit up. You know what I mean? Because I know, I can already see from here, from where I'm at, that this nigga's a total fraud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even no issue.
To understand why 50 Cent beefs with everyone, you have to understand where he comes from. Curtis Jackson grew up in South Jamaica, Queens, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in New York City during the crack epidemic of the 1980s and 90s. His mother was killed when he was just 8 years old, leaving him to be raised by his grandparents. By the time he was a teenager, 50 was already selling drugs on the streets. But unlike a lot of rappers who just talk about the street life, 50 was really about that life. He got shot 9 times in 2000 and survived, which gave him a reputation as someone who couldn't be killed or intimidated. That survival mentality is what shaped 50's entire approach to the music industry. In his mind, hip-hop is war, and every other rapper is either an ally or an enemy. There's no middle ground with Curtis Jackson. You're either with him or against him. When 50 first came into the industry in 2003 with Get Rich or Die Trying, he was already beefing with multiple people. His first major target was Ja Rule, who 50 claimed was fake and not really from the streets. But this wasn't just rap beef. 50 genuinely hated Ja Rule and wanted to destroy his career. The beef with Ja Rule started over a chain snatching incident back in 1999. According to 50, his crew robbed Ja Rule for his chain at a studio in Queens. Ja Rule denied it happened.
I guess the story got back in the hood of what happened, and so 50 used that as his end to have something to say about me. You feel what I'm saying? But it had nothing to do with him. Like, I didn't even know you know this dude. You know what I'm saying? His story is, I seen him with Troy out and about, and I got mad at him. Like, nigga, you had nothing to do with it. Why would I get mad at the guy next to the guy? You understand what I'm saying? Like, his stories just don't add up. They just don't make sense.
But 50 kept bringing it up in interviews and diss tracks. For 50, it wasn't enough to just win the beef. He wanted to completely humiliate Ja Rule. 50 released multiple diss tracks targeting Ja Rule, including Back Down and Piggy Bank. But he didn't stop there. He also went after Ja Rule's credibility, constantly calling him out for being fake and working with pop artists. What made 50's approach different was that he treated beef like a business strategy. While other rappers would beef for a few months and then move on, 50 would keep going until his target was completely destroyed. He understood that controversy sells records, and beef was his way of staying relevant and making money. The strategy worked. Get Rich or Die Tryin' sold over 870,000 copies in its first week, partly because of all the drama surrounding 50's beefs. Fans wanted to hear what this crazy dude from Queens was going to say next, but 50's biggest mistake was thinking he could beef with anyone and win. After destroying Ja Rule's career, he got overconfident and started going after bigger targets. His next major beef was with Fat Joe, another New York rapper who 50 felt was disrespecting him.
I like to tell the people home, I feel so safe tonight with all this police protection courtesy of G-Unit. And the winner is Missy Elliott featuring Sierra and Fat Man Scoop.
Put him up. I'ma turn over and tell her let's do it again. Fat Joe is man. Pussy boy. Fuck boy. Fuck. What? And all niggas is soup. Push.
The Fat Joe beef started when Joe made comments defending Ja Rule and calling 50 out for being a bully. 50 responded with Piggy Bank, where he dissed multiple rappers including Fat Joe, Jadakiss, and Nas. But this time, his targets weren't going to just take it lying down. Fat Joe fired back with My Fofo, and suddenly 50 was dealing with multiple beefs at the same time. This was the beginning of 50's downfall because he was spreading himself too thin and making too many enemies. The situation got even worse when 50 decided to go after Jay-Z. This was probably the dumbest move of his career because Jay-Z was the president of Def Jam and one of the most respected figures in hip-hop. 50 started making comments about Jay-Z being old and washed up and suggested that he was blocking other artists from succeeding. Jay-Z initially tried to ignore 50, but eventually he had to respond. In subtle ways, Jay started letting 50 know that he was playing a dangerous game. Industry insiders started shutting 50 out of certain opportunities, and his relationships with other artists began to suffer. Around the same time, 50 was also beefing with The Game, his own G-Unit member. 50 had discovered The Game and helped make him a star, but their relationship fell apart when The Game refused to participate in 50's beefs with other West Coast artists.
The streets are saying that the documentary was better than the massacre, which it is, and 50 got jealous and kicked me out of G-Unit, and he thought that he could do what he did to Ja Rule to me, but I'm the people's champ, man. Raps MVP, you can't get rid of me, man. So it'd be kind of hard to hide a 6'6" guy, 215 pounds. 50's just a little guy, he's a little stocky, but I think, you know, I think I can take him, man. 50's a jealous little girl, man.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he's jealous, and somebody needs to braid his ponytail and put him back in his skirt.
The Game felt like 50 was using him as a weapon in his personal vendettas, and he didn't want to be involved. When The Game tried to make peace with some of 50's enemies, 50 saw it as betrayal and kicked him out of G-Unit. This beef was different because it showed that 50's own artists were getting tired of his constant drama. The Game went on to have a successful solo career, while 50's reputation as a team player was damaged. But 50's most devastating beef was with Rick Ross, which started in 2009 and basically ended 50's relevance in hip-hop. The beef began when Rick Ross mentioned 50's baby mother in a song, which 50 took as a personal insult. 50 went full nuclear mode against Rick Ross, releasing multiple diss tracks and even making a sex tape featuring Ross's baby mama. This was crossing a line that most rappers wouldn't cross, and it showed how obsessed 50 had become with destroying his enemies. But Rick Ross was ready for war. He fired back with tracks like Mafia Music and refused to be intimidated by 50's tactics. More importantly, Ross had the support of the industry, while 50 was increasingly seen as a bully who had gone too far. The Ross beef exposed 50's biggest weakness, his inability to know when to stop. While his ruthless approach had worked against Ja Rule, it backfired against Ross because the industry was tired of 50's antics. Radio stations started playing less of his music, and other artists distanced themselves from him. By 2010, 50's album sales had dropped dramatically. His album Before I Self-Destruct sold only 160,000 copies in its first week. Compared to the massive numbers he used to do, the constant beefing had damaged his brand and turned off mainstream audiences. But the most personal beef in 50's career is with his own son, Marquise Jackson. Their relationship fell apart when 50's baby mama, Shaniqua Tompkins, sued him for millions of dollars. 50 felt like his son was being turned against him, and he publicly disowned Marquise on social media. This beef showed a different side of 50's personality, one where his need to win was more important than his relationship with his own child.
Of carrying out a terror attack that severely damaged that bridge.
I had to rebuild my life over $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like...
Fuck, this nigga's crazy. You're 25 years old. Why you still talking about child support? I get $5,000 a year when it was with me. That's why I took his mother to child support, because the bitch thought that she was supposed to get that much more, she wanted more. I don't that motherfucker nothing.
That nigga's fine. Look, you know I don't never ask for shit, man. But I was thinking, nigga, could nigga get a little extra $6,700 a month for the shit we been doing?
Yeah, I'm almost gonna fire up.
That nigga's play too much.
So why does 50 Cent have beef with everyone? The answer is complicated, but it comes down to a few key factors. First, 50 genuinely believes that the world is out to get him. Growing up in the streets and surviving 9 gunshots gave him a survival mentality where everyone is a potential threat. In his mind, it's better to strike first than to wait for someone to come for you. Second, 50 discovered early in his career that beef sells records and keeps him relevant. When he was beefing with J. Rule, he was the biggest rapper in the world. When the beef stopped being effective, his career started declining. Third, 50 has a personality disorder that makes it difficult for him to maintain healthy relationships. He sees everything in terms of loyalty and betrayal, and he has zero tolerance for anyone who he perceives as disloyal. Finally, 50 is addicted to the drama. He admits that he enjoys destroying his enemies more than making music. For him, beef isn't just about defending his reputation, it's entertainment. But the strategy that made 50 Cent famous is also what destroyed his career. By 2015, he was filing for bankruptcy and struggling to stay relevant in a hip-hop landscape that had moved on from his style of toxic masculinity and constant drama. Today, 50 Cent has found new success as a television producer with shows like Power, but his music career never recovered from all the beefing. He burned too many bridges and made too many enemies to be taken seriously as a rapper anymore. The irony is that 50 Cent's greatest strength was also his greatest weakness. His willingness to go to war with anyone made him a superstar, but it also isolated him from the industry and eventually cost him his career. Looking back, 50's beef history reads like a manual on how to destroy your own career. He went from being one of the biggest rappers in the world to being seen as a bitter old man who can't let go of past grudges. The lesson of 50 Cent's career is that in hip-hop, sometimes winning the battle means losing the war. He defeated individual enemies like Ja Rule, but in the process, he turned the entire industry against him and destroyed his own legacy. 50 Cent has beef with everyone because that's who he is, a man who sees the world as a battlefield and treats every relationship as a potential war.